Hi, I'm Siri and I am now good and ready to stream your WIA national news from the hub on VK1WIA.
From Australia, this is the Wireless Institute of Australia with the weekly news service. This broadcast is in text, audio and video and is accessed on wia.org.au.
Yes, it is the national news. It's for week commencing August the 1st, 2021, in our 26th year of non-stop news. The program recorded in Brisbane, Olympic City 2032, and thanks to all who checked in the past couple of broadcasts using that QR code I sent out. This week, we start at the end, or is it the beginning of the news? The beginning of our great hobby, electronics. Then, before our news in detail, we jump forward to today in our hobby, where resident thinker Jeff Emery, VK4ZPP, has, this week, been reading. But now let's rewind to the start.
With Rewind, I'm John Knox, VK4FJRK.
Rewind.
Radio and electronics history. Fascinating information, descriptions, stories and information about radio and electronics history. Everything from the famous scientists, pioneers and great engineers themselves to the technologies they developed. Radio and electronics history reveals many fascinating insights. Pioneers who developed new technologies to the explanations of how these technologies developed. Morse code and the first telegraph systems to vintage radio, how valves were developed, worked, and much more. Electronics Notes have started adding a virtual museum and directory of various vintage radios of all sorts, from old crystal antique radios to vintage valve radios, ex-government communication sets, ham radio equipment, through to early transistor radios and the like. Each radio is given a description, details of the specification and circuit where possible, so a good amount of interesting information is available on each type. There's a huge amount of work yet to be done on preparing a good selection of radios that will be of interest, but electronics-notes.com have started. So far, the radios investigated and written about include the Philco 111 Super Het radio from 1931, some of the Echo Art Deco round radio sets from the 1930s and 40s, as well as a selection of government surplus communication sets like the AR-88, Marconi CR-100 and 150, some ham radio sets, a Tandberg radio from the 1970s, and a few others as well. As you can imagine, this is very much a work in progress, so more will be added as time permits, ending up with a useful selection of radios that people will find interesting to browse through and read about. If you're interested, check back from time to time to see all the new additions. And that website is electronics-notes.com. My time is up. With Rewind, I'm John Knox, VK4FJRK.
Hello, I'm Jeff Emery, VK4ZPP. Last week, my copy of the WIA House magazine, Amateur Radio, arrived, and it was then that I read the two-page spread of Over to You, a letter to the editor by a correspondent who provided documentation supporting his statements, but who had his personal details withheld from publication. This letter is printed on pages 47 and 48 of the magazine, and if you haven't already read it, I would recommend that you take some time and go over it. The main gist of this letter is that the procedures for RPL have been amended and no longer follow the previously published criteria posted on the AMC website. There is now the possibility that a verbal exam, or VIVA, can be conducted by an AMC assessor, either in person or over the phone. The writer points out that this amounts to a form of examination duplication, which is obviously not the usual procedure for a registered training organisation. The writer of the letter quotes correspondence from the ACMA manager in June of this year, in which the matter is effectively duck-shoved under the table. One of the options floated by the ACMA was to have assessments conducted by an RTO. Amateurs rejected that choice, and now we have a level of inconsistency being applied, it seems, by both the ACMA and the AMC, a level of inconsistency which stands the chance of destabilising the stability of international relations established over decades in managing amateur radio affairs. I'm Jeff Emery, and that's what I think. How about you?
Now, international news with Jason, Victor Kilo 2, Lima Alpha Whiskey.
Hello. This week's news commences with the 23cm band and sat-nav coexistence. Preliminary studies considered in ITUR WP4C. During the period 5 to 13 July 21, the preparatory group for WRC23 Agenda Item 9.1b continued in ITUR Working Party 4C. The IARU member representatives from here in Australia, along with Brazil, Canada, Germany, Japan, Norway, UK and USA, participated in the meeting and delivered additional information on amateur activities in this key microwave band. Transatlantic Cable Anniversary. As part of the anniversary celebrations of the transatlantic cable on Tuesday the 27th of July between Valencia Cable Station and the Hearts Content Cable Station in Newfoundland and Labrador, Canada, the Kerry Amateur Radio Group, Echo India 1 Kilo, will continue the tradition of making HF QSOs with their friends at Victor Oscar 1 Tango Alpha Charlie Transatlantic Cable. In July 1866, the first permanent telegraph cable connecting Europe and North America was hauled ashore at Hearts Content and connected to Valencia. News from Region 1. Volunteer amateur radio operators to the rescue in Belgian floods. Emily Hoff writes in the Crisis Response Journal about the 30 radio amateurs who were deployed in the provinces of Brabant-Wallon and Hainaut following the flooding in Belgium. Early morning on July 16, the police building in Wavre, including its Tetra antenna and computers, were left completely underwater. The antenna is critical for the Astrid National Tetra system, which is used by firefighters, medics, the police and civil protection, the army and crisis communicators. We also had several local electrical blackouts in Liège, Luxembourg and Brabant-Wallon. Here, the ham radio volunteers came into their own. Emergency dispatch requested their help and about 30 volunteers were deployed in the provinces. They connected fire stations, ambulance stations, hospitals including the medical emergency vehicles, the main command post in Wavre, the Governor's Crisis Centre, and Field Multidisciplinary Command Post and 112 dispatch in Mons, their version of 000. To Region 2, Greenbank, the quietest place in America. Alpha Bravo 7 Romeo Golf, in writing in eham.net, tells how every week Chuck Nyday makes the rounds in Pocahontas County in search of rogue radio frequencies. This 13,000 square mile area in West Virginia is home to Greenbank Observatory and known for being the quietest town in America. The observatory boasts the largest steerable radio telescopes in the world, used to measure invisible energy waves raining down on Earth. But in order to do its job, it requires complete electromagnetic silence. Since it opened in 1958, the observatory has discovered black holes, radiation belts and gravitational waves. Sitting in a valley, the surrounding mountains offer a natural barrier against the outside world's noise. To Region 3, is Inspector Morse back? The Indian Express newspaper reports police in Pune are keeping Morse code as a robust standby communications mode. In this era of satellite communication, which involves transmitting signals into space and back, the internet-based systems transferring gigabytes of data in a flash, police in India have kept alive the age-old system of Morse code, a now somewhat primitive method of sending messages in the form of dots and dashes. Every Sunday, an operator with Pune Police's wireless wing sends a Morse code message to the office of the Director General of Police, Maharashtra. While this is their way of paying tributes to one of the earliest modes of telecommunication, it's primarily a way of maintaining a robust standby mode of message delivery in case other means of communication fail. Gold, gold, gold. Olympic Games JA1 Tokyo is on the air. On July 16, JARL opened the special commemorative station JA1 Tokyo in Nishi-Tokyo City, Tokyo, to commemorate the Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games being held from July 23. After the opening ceremony of JA1 Tokyo, an operator in charge was assigned to each band for active operation. In the evening, a member of Japan's House of Representatives, Hirohiko Izumida, 7 Kilo 1 Kilo Juliet Kilo, who is an amateur radio operator and a member of JARL, attended the venue and operated the station in the 7 MHz band. The station will be active until September 5. For WIA National News in Sydney, I'm Jason, VK2LAW.
This is the home service of the Wireless Institute of Australia through VK1WIA. Now operational news with Felix, VK4FUQ.
Hello there. RD or Remembrance Day contest for August 14-15. Alara contest. Combined phone and CW run over 24 hours starting on Saturday 28th of August at 0600 hours UTC, finishing Sunday 29th of August at 0559 hours UTC. Now joining us at Contest HQ is Alan, VK4SN, with the Trans-Tasman contest results and Remembrance Day reminder.
This year we had 76 log entries. Most seemed to agree conditions were good, at least after the first time block. I hope the new one-click button to submit your log from VKCL Logger made log submission easier for you. Thanks goes to Mike, VK3 Alpha Victor Victor. Congratulations go to these first place getters. Single op high power went to Alan, VK2 Echo Foxtrot Mike. Single op low power went to Laurie, VK5 Lima Juliet. Single op QRP was Vince, VK7 Victor Hotel. Multi 1 went to VK4 Hotel Hotel, with Ops Bill, VK4 Zulu Delta, and Di, VK4 Delta India. There were no multi entries this year, probably because the East Coast was in lockdown. Please visit the WIA Trans-Tasman contest page to download the PDF report that contains certificates, statistics, and a list of logging errors that operators made. And, while I've got the microphone, in 2 weeks' time, the Remembrance Day contest is over the weekend of the 14th and 15th of August. Running for 24 hours, the contest runs between 0300 Zulu Saturday and 0300 Zulu Sunday. There are no restrictions regarding COVID lockdowns, but please honour your local COVID guidelines. As some clubs may not be able to activate multi-operator stations, may I suggest submitting nominations for teams this year instead. Please email me with the team nominations prior to the start of the contest. And a new rule change this year. From this year onward, the awards for foundation categories are deleted as 3-letter call signs no longer represent the licensed category. Please visit the WIA Remembrance Day contest page for further information. Best 73s, this is Alan, VK4 Sierra November.
Thanks, Alan. Now let's throw open the DX window and see what we can hear. The RAF, who have been flying high with VK100AF to celebrate its 100 years back on March 31, will land and go QRT with VK100AF August 31. VI50SG is QRV until December 31, commemorating 50 years of the St George Amateur Radio Society in New South Wales. QSL via the Bureau. Navajo Co-Talker Special Event. Look for Special Event Station N7C to be active between August 10 and 14 with the 17th Annual Special Event Station celebration of the Navajo Co-Talkers. Nigeria 5N. 5N7 MSF Jean-Louis is on the air while working with Doctors Without Borders in Abuja till September. Activities on 20 and 15 metres using SSB, and please QSL via the operator's instructions. A large number of special event stations are now on the air to commemorate the Tokyo Olympics and Paralympics until September 5. Listen and workstations with 8N as the prefix and OLP as suffix. Calls are from 8N0 OLP all the way through 8N9 OLP. St Helena Island. QRV is ZD7GB from Jamestown until September 6. Activity on 40 metres to 10 metres, including satellite QO100, using SSB FT8 and FT4. Here's a high flyer worth keeping an eye out for. NZIT News says that ARI Cadore and ARI Bruniga were activated special call II3TDD, celebrating a century from the opening of the most famous Alps railway, the Nino delle Dolomiti, Dolomites Mountains train. They are on the air till September 30th on all bands and modes. Russia. Call sign R100KOMI celebrates the 100th anniversary of the Common Republic until the end of September. QSL via Club Log OQRS and R1II. Republic of Korea. Special event station D90 Expo is QRB to October 17, promoting 2021 World Military Culture Expo in October. Mark W5MED is stationed at McMurdo Station on Ross Island in Antarctica, AN011, until October. Look for him on 14243 kHz SSB and 14070 kHz FT8. Panama. Special event stations 3F200AT and 3F200NG are QRV until November 30, celebrating Panama's bicentennial anniversary of independence, and the QSL route is via LTW. Belgian special prefix. Belgian radio amateurs and clubs may replace the normal prefix ON in their call sign with the special prefix OS until December 12 to celebrate the 120th anniversary of the first transatlantic radio transmission, when Marconi first succeeded in bridging the Atlantic Ocean with radio signals. Croatia, 9A. Members of the Croatian Flora Fauna ARC are QRV with special event call 9A10FF during all of 2021 to celebrate the club's 10th anniversary. Portugal. CQ750 RSI throughout 2021 commemorates the 750th anniversary of the birth of Elizabeth of Aragon, the Queen Consort of Portugal and patron saint of the city of Coimbra. Finland, OH. Special event station OH100SRAL is QRV during all of 2021 to celebrate the centennial of the Finnish Amateur Radio League. For VK1WIA National News, I'm Felix, VK4FUQ in Ingham.
This is the home service of the Wireless Institute of Australia through VK1WIA. Now, special interest group news with Cole, VK3GTV.
Hello, first up, it's Worldwide Special Interest Groups, Summits on the Air, Worldwide Flora and Fauna Program and other adventure groups. Tom Reed, M1EYP, prominent Summits on the Air activator from Cheshire, is suddenly experiencing a significant change to his portable operating habits. Tom, who with 3,551 summit activations to his name over 19 years, is the world's most experienced solar activator, has commenced work as a professional musician on board Saga's brand new cruise ship, Spirit of Adventure. Tom has taken his trusty FT817 and an Alex loop antenna and has secured the enthusiastic permission of the master of the vessel, Captain Kim Tanner, to talk to we SOTA gang from his cabin balcony. But, and I love this part, Captain Tanner has urged him to also operate from the public decks, believing the activity to be something that would be of great interest to the guests. Tom's SOTA activities will now obviously be restricted to chasing, but look out for M1EYP/Marine Mobile, possibly with the addition of some CEPT prefixes from this brand new luxury boutique cruise ship. The itineraries include around Britain and Ireland, the Baltic, Mediterranean, Adriatic and Canaries. Tom will be active from the Saga Spirit of Adventure until mid-November on 40 through to 10 metres, using CW, SSB and FT4-FT8. For our WIA supporters in Europe, there may also be some local 2-metre FM as well. Worldwide Special Interest Groups, ATV, Every Pixel Tells a Story. tinyurl.com/WIA-news-videos. That link is a video version of this news compiled by VK5BD Bevan. A little fast for you to write that down? No problem. The link's in the text edition of this news broadcast on the WIA News website page, or just search YouTube for VK5BD. Well, worth a look. Russian cosmonauts on the International Space Station are planning to transmit slow-scan TV images on 145.800 MHz FM using the slow-scan TV mode PD120. The transmissions are part of the Moscow Aviation Institute SSTV experiment and will be made from the amateur radio station RS0ISS in the Russian ISS service module using a Kenwood TMD710 transceiver on Friday, August 6th from 10:50 UTC until 19:10 UTC, and on Saturday, August 7th from 09:50 UTC until 15:55 UTC. Dates and times subject to change. Check for updates at aris-sstv.blogspot.com. Now news again on the upcoming DATV CUSO party.
The annual DATV CUSO party is scheduled for Friday the 27th of August and Saturday the 28th of August, and may now include additional repeaters in the USA. The principle is that DATV stations transmit to their local repeaters and an anchor ports the signal internationally. More details of this event will follow in subsequent broadcasts.
Worldwide Special Interest Groups Digital. Stations to celebrate the 4th anniversary of FT8. Many stations will take to the airwaves between August the 2nd and 15th to celebrate the 4th anniversary of FT8. All stations will use call signs with FTDMC or FTDM in the suffix. Stations planning to participate include 4J8 FTDM, OZ8 FTDMC and 9K8 FTDMC. Worldwide Special Interest Group's Final Frontier, AM1SAT International Award. From September 13 to 19, AM1SAT will be active on the amateur radio satellites from a number of locations in Spain, and diplomas will be available for contacting the stations. AMSAT EA will celebrate in September, coinciding with the IBA Radio Fair, organised by URE in Avila, which is the largest meeting point for radio amateurs in Spain and Portugal, the 3rd edition of its international competition and AM1SAT award. To do this, AMSAT EA operators will be on the air everywhere on all available satellites with the call sign AM1SAT between the 13th and 19th of September, activating a minimum of 14 different locations. Worldwide Special Interest Groups, Radio Amateur Oldtimers. And guess who's joining us again this month? Well, it's a gold star and an elephant stamp for you, if you guessed it right.
Hello everyone, this is Clive, VK6 Charlie Sierra Whiskey, reminding you that tomorrow is the first Monday of the month, time for the Radio Amateurs Old Timers Club of Australia's August Bulletin to go to air. This month we have for you a special item by Ian, VK3JS in Club News, recognising Barry, VK3SY, who along with Bill Roper, VK3BR, was also an OAM recipient in the recent Queen's Birthday Awards and Honours list. An item from Peter Klee, VK8ZZ, RAOTC Committee Member and WIA Secretary, with an update of the WIA's discussions with the ACMA. This is followed by 2 short items read by Ian, VK3JS, firstly Earthquake Detection and then Go Gadget CubeSat. Then finally, Bruce, VK3UV, tells us about solar flares, including an event on the 3rd of July this year, which briefly obliterated HF communications. Everyone, RAOTC members and non-members alike, is most welcome to listen to the programme and to join in the callbacks afterwards. Full details of all transmission times and modes can be found on the RAOTC website at www.raotc.org.au or just Google RAOTC broadcasts. If none of the transmission times suit you, you can download the audio file at any time from today from the RAOTC website. If you do listen this way, some brief feedback would be appreciated. Members and friends of the RAOTC in Perth are reminded that the next lunchtime meeting at the Bayswater Hotel is on Tuesday, August the 10th, and you'll be pleased to know that the buffet is back on. So once again, tune in tomorrow for the August RAOTC Bulletin, enjoy the programme, and don't forget to join in the callbacks afterwards. 7-3 from Clive, VK6CSW.
Thanks, Clive. On to Worldwide Special Interest Group's Rescue Radio. In the last week of May, hours before Cyclone Yas made landfall in northern coastal Odisha and battered coastal West Bengal, Ambarish Biwa, VU2JFA, Secretary of the West Bengal Radio Club, got a call from a senior bureaucrat about deployment of some ham radio operatives in Purba Mandinapa district, where the maximum damage was expected. Mr. Biwa said it was difficult for the operators, who had already positioned themselves in different areas, to move to Purba Mandinapa. Communication turns out to be a major challenge during the cyclones, and particularly in the Sundarbans, with more than 50 inhabited islands located in remote areas, some of them at the mouth of the Bay of Bengal. They've remained cut off for days. The state had in the past 3 years faced 4 tropical cyclones: Fani, May 2019, Bulbul, November 2019, Amphan in May 2020, and Yas in May this year, and on all occasions the administration had to wait for connection to be restored to assess damage and to send relief. A few months after Yas, Mr Nabiwa got a call from the district administration of the South 24 Paragonus to train local youths from the Sundarbans in operating ham radio sets. This was to augment the community-based disaster preparedness of the region. Accordingly, training of 60 volunteers, mostly residing in the Sundarbans, has started earlier this month. Worldwide Special Interest Groups, RAW, Rotarians of Amateur Radio. On behalf of RAW editor Diane Main, VK1WIA, and President Ed Taylor, N4EDT, we provide a link to the latest 2021 RAW Communicator and thank the various contributors. If you, as a RAW member, have something you wish to have included in the next communicator, send it to Diane now, editor@ifroar.org. You can view the latest communicator by going to the RAW website at www.ifroar.org. Worldwide Special Interest Groups, YOTA, Youngsters on the Air, IARU Region 1 Working Group, in collaboration with the IARU R1 Executive Committee, has made the following arrangement. Youth events scheduled within 2021 will remain in the calendar for the time being and will be reviewed during the forecast evolution of the pandemic sufficiently prior to each event, with an announcement about whether or not it will take place. Generally, it will be 3 months prior to the scheduled date. Those planning to attend should thus have sufficient time to make the necessary bookings and travel arrangements. IARU Region 1's intent is to ensure that any events which take place do so in an environment which respects national requirements for pandemic control and which does not place at risk the health and well-being of those participating. And finally, this last segment is really two worldwide special interest groups combined: Rota, Recipes on the Air, and Radio Scouting. Today, August 1st, is World Scout Day, and Cub Scouts in Victoria's Northern Rivers District will gather in Swan Hill to showcase displays of cultures from countries including Poland, Spain, Denmark, Peru, Kenya and America, and prepare and cook traditional meals from those world regions. On the amateur radio side, Ross, VK3ZNR and yours truly, VK3GTV, will be there, both in our capacity as scouting leaders and hams, to hopefully make contact with other scouts in those nations, similar to JOTA, Jamboree on the Air. We'll operate mostly on 40 metres, around 7.090 MHz, and 20 metres, around 14.310 MHz. We'll also try the local VK3 RSH 2-metre repeater. If you hear our CQ calls, we'd love hams from anywhere to come back to us and have a chat to the kids, sometime between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. today, local time. Hopefully I'll chat to some of you during the day. I'm Cole, VK3GTV.
It sounds like a lot of fun up there at Swan Hill today. Okay, on the 2021 social scene. And don't forget, due to the COVID-19 situation, always check these events direct for up-to-date status information, because even without COVID, dates do have an uncanny knack of being changed at last moment. In VK4, the Redcliffe Amateur Radio Club's car boot sale, August the 21st at 9 a.m. In VK5, the Australian Fox Hunting Championship and SERG Convention, Mount Gambier, 18 and 19 of September. VK4, the Cardwell Gathering, October 1 to 4 at Beachcomber Motel and Tourist Park. Sunfest, VK4 Sunfest Field Day, Monday, October 4 at the Nambour Showgrounds, Queensland. Here's Trent.
The Sunshine Coast Amateur Radio Club is pleased to announce the annual Sunfest event for 2021 will be held once again at the Nambour Showgrounds this year. Take pride in building your own gear. You could win some awesome prizes by aiding your work in the Sunfest 2001 Queensland Homebrew Competition. There will be both a rookie, licensed less than 2 years, and open divisions, and a special category for under 18s. Perhaps you're more of a car or truck lover with some radio on the side. Well, why not enter the 2021 Sunfest Echidna Concours d'Elegance? We are looking for entries that showcase the best of both worlds, neat cars and neat radio installations. You'll need to display your vehicle at the event on the day and be prepared to answer the odd question or two. You never know, you could come away with the Crowd Favourite Award or Grand Champion. More info will be on the website, VK4WIS.org, and Facebook page. This has been Trent, VK4TS, for the Sunshine Coast Amateur Radio Club.
Thanks, and to VK6, it's Perth Tech, October 23, and in VK3, Rosebud Radio Fest by Spark, November 14. Now till next we meet, I'm Graham, VK4 Baker. Walk softly.
From Australia, this has been the Wireless Institute of Australia with the weekly news service. This broadcast is in text, audio and video and is accessed on wia.org.au.